The next stage is to do a 2-point perspective and to try and add surface graphics to it so that it looks precise. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to have a box configured like this, which is what I'm going to draw. I'm putting it on a side to give me an idea of how it would look in 2-point perspective. I do my horizon line across the back with my vanishing point over to the left and the far right. And then the first thing I'll do is the line that's closest to me, the vertical line. So I do a vertical at the front corner of the box. And from that point there, down at the base, I go back to my vanishing point on the left and I go back to my vanishing point on the right. I know that this is the height. This is where I stop my line. So from that point there, I'm going back to my vanishing point here and back to the vanishing point on the right hand side. So now I have the height of the box and I want to decide how wide the box is going to be, so I'm going to finish it here. So where this diagonal line intersects the vertical line, I go back to the vanishing point. So that establishes the inside of the box. From where this vertical line at the top intersects the diagonal line, I go back to the vanishing point on the left. So that's the height or side of the box. And then the depth of the front part of the box, I'm finishing here. Vertical line. Where that vertical line intersects the diagonal line, again, I go back to the vanishing point on the right hand side. So there you can see you've got your outline of the box, and now we're doing the interior of the box. So I'm going to move this line slightly in because it's sitting within the box. So from this point here, I'm going to go back to the vanishing point. I've decided that the back of the box is going to be about this deep, so I go up and meet already the diagonal line that's up there, but my box on the interior is slightly smaller, so it does fit within. So I'm going to go from a point just down, about 1 millimetre, and back to my vanishing point over there. And then where my diagonal line hits the vertical line, I'm going back to the vanishing point on the right hand side. And I've got the back of the box here, so this will be slightly in as well because it sits within. So from this point here, I will go back to the vanishing point on this side. Now I need to sort out the inside of the box. So where the vertical line meets the diagonal line, from that point there, I go back to my vanishing point on the right hand side. And from here, I've already got that line established. Now where this line here meets the diagonal line, I'm doing a vertical line. So that's the inside back of the box. And then there's a few tabs in there, so I'm going to put those in as well. And even these lines here, you draw them as if they're going back to that vanishing point, just to keep it on the same angle. Otherwise, everything starts to tilt a bit. This one goes slightly up because it's a tab. Okay, and then you're going to get the detail. Now, you even want to get some detail of the dots. I'm going to simplify it, obviously, because that would take a long time and too much detail. So what I'm going to do is create a grid from the top. So I'm going to start from the top left of the box, go back to the vanishing point. If I don't do this, what happens is you do the circles on the wrong angle and it looks like they're starting to lift off the page. It doesn't look realistic. I know these lines are a little bit hard to see, but it's good practice to use a 2H pencil because you can rub away the lines afterwards. They don't leave greasy marks all over your page. And obviously you can rub away all this when you're finished. Okay, and then from this front point here, I'm going back to this point. That's a very wonky line, so I'll do it again. Okay, so I've got a bit of a grid happening. It's just a very basic grid. And so now I'm looking at the front of the pack. So I need to get the detail on there. So all the horizontal lines here, because it's tilted on a side, become vertical. So they don't change. All the verticals remain vertical. So I just need to make sure that if I have lines of text, they also remain on this vertical. The text, which is on a bit of a slant, you just have to sort of create a bit of a line to follow with the text. And then you have a circle. Now circles also go to the vanishing point. So this is the top of my circle here. So from that point closest to me, I'm drawing the line back to the vanishing point, and from here back to the vanishing point. And with circles, there's a thing called crating. So you're creating a little box, and then you're marking the centre of each box, and this is where your circle has to touch those lines. So then you've got your circle there. You've got the text that goes above and below, and some lines of text here. You've got some lines of text there, so just make sure you keep everything on the vertical. So then I would go with my fine liner, and I would mark in these circles across here, following the grid that I've created. So I'm keeping some sort of a repetitive pattern happening. And finally, when I outline it, then I would end up with something like this. So you can see that the circles are bigger here, and as they disappear towards the distance, they get much smaller. You can see the verticals remain vertical, and the text follows that line as well. So you need to keep that in mind.